And welcome to an all-new Making Connections right here on the Producers Channel. My name's David Ballerstein, and today we have a special guest, and we have Caylub here. Hi,
Hi.
Caylub. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Great. So, you gave us a call and wanted to talk about a upcoming program in August.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I know you've been planning this for a while, and we've seen some social media posts out there already
yes.
about it. So it's something new here, probably in Marshfield. Within the last few years here?
Last year, probably.
Last year. So you're here to talk about a drag show performance on August 16th, correct?
Yes, August 16th. It's called Summertime Drag Show. It's going to be held at the Wenzel Family Plaza in town. It's going to be at 4 p.m. and it's family friendly, so that means anybody can come and watch the show.
Okay. So what can people expect when coming there? Because it's going to be an outdoor event at the Family Wenzel Plaza. And, kind of give us an idea of what one person would expect to see during the entire day.
Well, during the entire day, you can expect to see maybe a couple vendors we might have. We might have someone selling merchandise, someone selling desserts like cookies and stuff like that. We might do a little bit of a drag dress-up competition. Maybe we'll have a couple of our performers dress up a person from the audience in drag, and whoever wins that competition, they might get a little Ulta or Sephora gift card for both the performer and the person who gets dressed up. So we might be doing that, we'll see. But overall, at 4 o'clock, you should expect our hostess to come out, welcome everyone to the show. She'll explain the rules of the show in case nobody has been to a drag show, because it is a public performance. And then she'll talk a little bit, she'll thank everyone for coming, and then we'll get started. We will have all of our performers do 3 different rounds of performances. So we'll do one round with a set lineup, then we'll take a break, and then we'll do another one, take a small break, and then we'll do another one.
Okay. So during, the performance, there's music, or a song that a drag queen performs. Does somebody pick that for them, or do they pick it on their own?
So the drag performers always pick it for themselves. They always pick which song they want to perform to a specific show. So for family-friendly shows, they always are very careful about language, about, whether it's talking about anything inappropriate or not. They're always very careful, and we make sure we go through each song to make sure they are family-friendly and they are, allowed for children to be able to hear those performance songs.
Right. So with picking the songs, it looks like, when I've seen a show, that it sounds like looks like they're actually singing the song. Are they actually singing the song, or is it more like lip sync for those that don't know?
So for me, I usually just lip sync the song, but I know a lot of drag performers will tell me, make sure the music is up, because I will be singing to myself the song. So then, their lips are moving correctly. So, sometimes they're singing, very softly. Other times they're just lip syncing like me.
Yeah, because I'm sure that someone out in the audience can tell if you're off,
Yeah.
off from not the lip syncing correctly. So take us through a moment of what it takes from the very beginning to performance time. What does that look like in case for those that don't know, from from the process of getting dressed up and all that up to performance. What does that kind of look like for an individual?
Well, every performer is different, so they might take longer, they might take shorter. For me, I always show up at the venue before call time so I can get ready at the venue. Not everyone does it. Usually performers don't. They usually do their makeup at home and then they come in and then they get dressed up and everything at the venue. I always go to the venue beforehand to get my makeup done, to get everything done. Usually makeup takes about 1 to 2 hours. And then whenever it is around call time, we get everything dressed up, our tights, our pads, our outfits, we get our wigs set, everything. And then by the time call time is around, every performer is backstage, hopefully. and we wait until showtime. You know, the show director will always be like 5 minutes, you know, and then by the time showtime happens, you know, sometimes 30 minutes late, we the host will walk out onto the stage. They'll do their bit, welcome everybody, rules, everything like that, and then they'll introduce the first performer, and then that's how they'll start off every round. They'll just continue the lineup until the very end.
Okay.
And then at the end of the show, we do a cast call. Every performer will come out, and we'll stand there for probably 30 minutes taking pictures with people.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, in heels, it can be a little tiring, but we love the audience members. We absolutely love everybody that comes in. So we take pictures, and then we mingle around with everyone. Usually some performers will mingle around for a little bit and then go back because, you know, they live far away. Like sometimes we'll have people from 3 hours away come in, so they have to get home immediately because they have to work in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
So they'll mingle around for a little bit, and then after that, for my shows, we don't kick people out. We let them, you know, check out the Chestnut Center for a little bit, and they can leave whenever they want to. However, we do turn the open light off whenever we leave the building completely. So,
Yeah. So it takes a few hours to get that prep. So before that, I'm sure there's time. I think you got to like choreograph or try to set up how you're going to perform. I mean, what does that kind of look like? Do you have someone that helps you with that?
I do not. I don't. I always pick my choreography myself. Sometimes I'll just free range it, so I'll just do whatever. That's what I usually do, honestly. But I still practice beforehand. Some performers, they don't do the full backup dancers, everything, unless they're doing a really important pageant, and they'll rehearse with those backup dancers like weeks beforehand for that. I personally don't know any performers that do backup dancers or do the whole thing, except for this one Britney Spears impersonator who hires backup dancers, does the whole thing. But other than that, no, we just kind of.
So it could be all on your own or a whole entourage, as we would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, how did all this get started in Marshfield anyways? I think I'm kind of curious. I mean, what was the idea to start this here in Marshfield?
Well, before we did our shows, we only got drag twice a year. We got it at Marshfield Pride, and then I think they did drag shows for adults only at the old Elixir nightclub, but then that got sold out, and they no longer are able to do shows there anymore. So now, if it wasn't for my shows, we would only get drag once per year, and there are a lot of people in this local community, Marshfield, Spencer, Loyal, you know, that really want to see drag. And so I decided, I reached out to a few people and was like, would it be fun to, you know, do shows in town? And they go, absolutely. So it took a while, but we got one organized. It took us like a month to find a venue because we kept getting denied by places, which is okay. But we got a venue, and then it was time to get performers, and it was my first ever show. So I'm just like, I didn't know what I was doing. That's why I had organizers of Marshfield Pride helping me for the first show. So that was really nice of them. So we got everything, and we got a date set, and then by the time our show happened, we had like 65 people there, which is one of our biggest attendances. So, yeah, that's how the first show came about.
Yeah, and here it's going now. So, you know, with all that, so this here will be separate from Marshfield Pride.
Yes.
Right. So there's that's organized by somebody completely different.
Yep.
So is there any more events after the 16th that on August that you'll be having, or?
We don't have any set right now, but we are planning one for October called Iconic Legends. We are going to be featuring music from artists from the year 1990 to 2010. So that 20 years, we're going to feature artists. I've already picked my artist. I'm doing Christina Aguilera, but we're bringing in performers. You know, I want somebody to do Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, maybe Taylor Swift, Shania Twain, all these different artists, Pussycat Dolls. You know, that one's going to be 18 plus. And it's going to be held at the Chestnut Center again.
Okay. So talking about picking music, what happens if somebody else picks the same song that you were doing?
Well, it's never happened. Usually performers will have a backup, songs. They'll have backup songs. And even if they don't, if they get someone that picks the same song as them, the two performers will probably talk to each other and be like, okay, who should perform to this song? I can do something else. It all depends. I remember for my Marshall Extravaganza show, they didn't have the same songs, but last minute we decided to let two performers do an extra performance, and they literally picked a new song in like 5 minutes.
Oh boy.
And they performed to the whole thing, and it was fine, yeah. We usually are really good about picking songs really fast.
Yeah. So with the songs, how do you come up with the whole outfit?
The whole outfit?
Because I would assume that the outfit would go with the song pretty close, correct?
Usually. For me, not so much. But then again, I always do pop music. I always do the same, like, upbeat, really fast songs. Because for me, I usually wear bodysuits, and those are usually easier to dance in and, run in and do stunts in. But we do like to have a set outfit, so we like to take an outfit, like clothing, then we take a wig and we put that with it, then we take heels and put that with it. So for me, I always have set, like, I always have my pink bodysuit with my blonde Britney wig with my, black heels. That's how I usually do it.
All right. Well, is there anything else that we haven't covered yet?
Yes. I want to talk about some of the performers that we're having.
Oh, yes.
On August 16th. So we are having it hosted by Cass Marie Domino. She has been doing drag for 35 years. She is Miss City of the Lakes 2024, which is a pageant up in Minneapolis. And she's also a show director in Madison. And I do know that she is having a art exhibit dedicated to her from, I think, June 2nd to September at a museum or some kind of exhibit in Madison.
Okay.
Because she's been doing activism and drag for 35 years, probably even more. And she is a transgender woman. So she's incredible. I'm excited to have her. And then our halftime performer, she's doing 2 numbers, is Nova Variety. She is 16 years old, and she's an AFAB performer, which means she is a female at birth. She was born a female, and she's a drag queen. She's originally from Eau Claire, and she recently competed for Miss Wisconsin Youth Entertainer down in Madison, where she got almost perfect scores for her gown. And she is inspired by Lady Gaga and Chappelle Roan. And then we have Amber Dahl. She was recently added as a brand new cast member. She's from Green Bay. She is Miss Napoli's Lounge 2025. Napoli's Lounge is up in Green Bay. I've performed there before. It's a, little gay bar lounge type of thing. She hosts bingo shows in Green Bay and does roulette shows at Remix Nightclub in Neenah, Wisconsin. I've heard her drag is inspired by dolls like Barbies, Bratz, those type of things. Mm-hmm. And then we have Scorpia Nova. She is currently Mix Marshfield Amateur of the Year. She won a amateur competition at a recent show, and she is performing there because the winner of that show gets a confirmed show in the future, and that's what she picked. And she sings live. She does live singing a lot, which is kind of different from normal drag queens. Usually queens perform, lip syncing, but she does both. She sings live and lip syncs. And then we have Andy with an I, Domino. She's 19 years old. She is a show director in Madison. She hosts Voices with Nemo Drag. It's a family-friendly show up in 5 Nightclub in Madison every month. And she is Miss Wisconsin Youth Entertainer 2023. And then last but not least, we have Miranda Mays. She is Dairyland Snow Queen Newcomer 2025. And from what I see from her, she does host a lot of drag bingos from where she's from.
Bingos.
So a drag bingo We might do one in the future. Is basically a drag show. We do like an actual show, but then we host bingo. So we do bingo. Everyone, the audience members play, and we host it. We call out the numbers, and then you win prizes. They did one at Pride a couple years. Yeah, it's just a drag bingo, and then we perform, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So before we close the show here, remind us of the date of the event.
August 16th, 2025 at 4:00 p.m. If weather does not permit in our favor, we have backup location at Chestnut Center for the Arts in the Performance Hall. So we will inform everyone if it starts raining. Let's be like, hey, run over here real quick.
Yeah, it's right across the street.
Yeah.
So, all right, Caylub. Well, thank you so much
All
for
right.
coming in today and sharing your event and a little information on the show there.
All right. Yep. Thank you.
All right, and thank you for joining us here on a new episode of Making Connections.